Hey superstars, you beautiful people, I hope you're all having a spectacular day. Welcome to another episode of the Virtus Performance Podcast. Today's episode is with one of my very good friends, James Longhurst. James is someone who's been on the podcast a couple of times, featured very early on, potentially episode 3. We also had a chat pre 7-week escape to South America. We had a little bit of a conversation, would have been in Feb now, about what that trip meant to us, why we decided to do it, and what we were kind of expecting from it. And this conversation today is kind of a little follow-up to that. It's been a big couple of years for both of us. We've both kind of hit a few milestones in business and in life. So yeah, today's conversation was a little dive into that, a little dive into achievement, kind of what we're still trying to achieve, but also a look back and a bit of an appreciation of what we have achieved and what actually has happened, and all the cool people we've met and all the cool things that have happened along the way. We also dove into our 7 weeks in South America and kind of what we experienced. And if any of you guys are looking to head to that part of the world, you know, there's probably a few little gems for you in this next episode. If you do enjoy it, if you have been enjoying the podcast, please hit us up with a review, ideally a 5-star, one of those things. That would be spectacular. The more people that we could have listening to these conversations, the more impact we can make, the better place the world becomes, hopefully, ideally. If you can subscribe as well, even shoot this or a previous episode to someone you love, someone you think might get a little bit out of it, that would be incredible. Here it is. My personal and business goal is to be just a little bit better every day. I believe everyone, especially normal people, have a story to tell. The Virtus podcast exists to help us all find small ways of consistent improvement by discussing the journey and experiences of each of our guests.
Good boy.
Voyager.
Yo.
We're back.
Back at my place.
Hey, your place. The fresh digs down at
In the new side.
down in Cananook.
Yeah.
It's been a big year. When was the last time you were on?
Before we went overseas, mate. Before we went to the other side of the world. Checked out how life was, leaving our shop in the hands of our trusting staff and team, and spoiled ourselves.
It was
Spoiled ourselves rotten.
properly spoiled ourselves. When was it? It was March, start of March.
March and April. 6 weeks. Yeah, wild trip.
Yeah.
That one was a good one. And basically, mate, big year. Your third, my fourth.
Yeah, birthdays.
Yeah, birthdays.
How good is like little milestones like that? Just being able to kind of stop for a second and go, and it's pretty cool. It's insane what you can actually accomplish in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I needed it.
The trip. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You've been going pretty hard.
Yeah, I had definitely been committed 100% to growing Voyager, and probably for a solid 3 years. And I guess I took the risk. I was fortunate. I had 2 weddings, right? One in South America at the start of the year, one in Ireland at the second half of the year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know that I'll be able to get out of there and leave it in the hands of the team and let it keep rolling on, organically get those orders through, and stay alive.
Yeah.
So blessed to have been able to leave for 12 weeks this year.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah. But tell you what, if I hadn't I wouldn't have been charged up to come and knock a hole in that wall over there and build a second print shop. This is my third print shop. There was the garage, there was the print shop next door, and now this beautiful shop, which is nice and light, nice and clean, and everything's working out sick. The team's killing it, and I just feel so stoked because I've had my dreams to build this shop in here and take over this whole property for Voyager and for myself, and it's just stoked. I'm so stoked. Ever since I knocked that hole down, man, life's changed. And
you said it like early on when I first met you. You're like, that shop there. You pointed to it. You're like, that shop there. I'm going to turn that into my second print shop.
Yeah.
What was it like? Like take yourself back like 3-4 years. What mindset did you have, and like what did you like create in your mind, and how'd you fucking pull it off?
Oh, just love it. I guess it's like climbing a mountain, mate. One step at a time.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. I'm a bit of a maniac when I want to take on goals.
Yeah.
You know, I just sort of bit of all or nothing, bit of like go big or go home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, like through my 20s, you know, that I didn't have much direction. I was sort of just meandering through and whatever. And I guess when you see an opportunity like that, you go, let's push everything towards it just in case it opens up. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I just put my foot to the floor and made sacrifices. And even when the transition came, I was I was trying to stay pretty composed and not tread on anybody's feet too much, like the guys who were here before, and you know, the real estate, whoever's in charge of the joint. Just try to make the right moves, because obviously, you know, like you can have desires in life, but they're not going to come, man. Like they may not. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen, man. You got to.
And it might never work out.
Yeah. So I just tried and listened to the omens, listened to whatever guidance I needed, and I guess like when you say look back a few years ago when I first checked out this property, I just saw potential, man. I just saw you got to have a vision. Yeah. I saw it and I was like, let's do this. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a monster, but let's do it, you know. And so it's been sick, man. It's been built now for probably a month or two.
Yeah, it's just rolling.
And I'm enjoying it thoroughly, man. Like me and Cam are printing together like weapons and just getting to know our new routines and where tools are. And like I love my trade so much. And so doing it here in this shop and just getting to know it, like I still feel like I haven't peaked, you know, production-wise and print quality-wise. Well, maybe not quality, but just print efficiency, print shop efficiency. I just don't feel like I've peaked, and so it's super exciting to get to know how to work in here. And just can't wait for Josh Brown to come and paint some shit on the white bare walls, eh?
I didn't bring a shout-out bell, but shout out to Brownie.
You got a bell now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, haven't you seen the bell?
No, boy.
All right, it must be, yeah. March was a long time ago. It just goes ding.
Oh, sick.
Use that word sacrifice. Like, it's really easy for people that haven't necessarily achieved something to look at someone who's successful and kind of go, oh, you know, they must have had it easy, or they just rolled through it, or they just rocked up and it happened for them.
Oh, they get offended sometimes too. They like think you're arrogant or whatever, and it's like, well, I don't give a fuck what you think. I work hard. If you can't see that and appreciate it, I ain't got time for you. And
it's so like, and it's hard for anyone to know the story and like really know the sacrifices and stuff. Can you like paint a little picture?
You want me to?
A little sacrifice picture.
You want me to paint a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Just my life has been somewhat empty for the first couple of years, you know. Very little social life, reasonably unhealthy home lifestyle, no holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
But like inside, like in my heart and soul, I've just felt really fruitful. Yeah.
Because you're working on something.
My
building
brain
something.
thinks about this task or this build, and I'll go, once it's done, like I'm on my way, like I'm heading down a road, and I keep like gathering things up as I go. So Voyager, you know.
I love that.
Yeah, that's the picture, bro. Yeah, you just walking down the path, keep picking up things as you go, and I was just so focused on myself. And I had to realise that, you know, like I said, if there was a bit of a sacrifice in social life and in you know, lifestyle, it was all for the greater good, man.
It was like, it took a while, but it was, in the scheme of things, it was short term.
Yeah, short term. Yeah, I was so self-involved, so self-obsessed, and I think that's fine as long as you're not being rude to anyone else. I fucking loved just shutting the door to the world at 27, 28 years old and just going, I'm just gonna do this for me, for my future, and just work on myself now.
Yeah.
You know, and you fucking hate yourself sometimes, and then you love yourself sometimes. So you're in a real strong battle. It's really, really deep. It's really spiritual. So, sort of.
You said you listen to omens, like that spirituality. Like, was that just like listening to the things that come up, the universe brings up, and just
Science.
following them? To the signs,
A little bit of science.
I love that.
Yeah,
I respect that so much.
Intuition as well.
Yeah.
Knowing when not to do something.
Yeah.
You know, I got that mad mural out the front there, but no signs on the roof. It doesn't say t-shirts in here. It should, but
It will soon.
Yeah.
At some point.
I'm
One thing at a time.
I'm a perfectionist and I haven't finalised the designs, but you know, it's been fine because most people who come past and walk in, they're sort of they're only after something small, and we can't really accommodate small things like that. And when I've had major customers like yourself and you know, whoever else you might know who's ordering big, you want to accommodate that, man, look after them. So you just try to keep a low profile somewhat, but I don't know how to explain the whole listen to omens, listen to your intuition thing. I've just been doing that for decades. Yeah. You just got to open your ears, open your mind, instead of, I don't know, just being so forceful out there in life. Have a listen and just go with it, you know, learn like to fly sort of with what you think is right, follow your heart and stuff, and that's pretty much it. I got a pretty good practice at that, so.
We probably took some practice. And it's like, you know, I think it's for a lot of people, it's hard to, like, the path that, if you follow your heart, that path you have to take is fucking hard. Like, there's sacrifices, but it pays you back immensely. Like, you know, being able to go away for 3 months of the year effectively. And
it's a bit hard for people who are in a group where their group of friends don't really get it. They're like, oh shit, now I want to listen to my heart, now I want to do something, you know, against the grain. And I've got to turn away from this, you know, group of people that keep me sort of feeling like family or whatever. I don't know. But when you do it, you go inward, man. You go solitary, right? So you're on your own level, on your own channel, and that can be fun and all. But as long as you're willing to be accept yourself and be happy with yourself, go do that, then you'll succeed. You know, the pot of gold won't be right there at your fingertips, but you'll always be heading towards it, you know, and that's a good enough feeling. So as long as you're doing what you enjoy.
Yeah, I can see you still love printing t-shirts.
Fuck yeah.
Which is the cool part. And you still love...
You can see that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got pride in your place, right? Like pride in your environment, your space, and...
I had to clean it.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I had to clean it up a bit.
What are you most proud of?
My staff.
That's cool.
Yeah. When I watch them do the work, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I taught you how to do that. That's great. You know, and I look at hey, we've done that job, or hey, this turned out. I'm just like, great. I'll hear myself say it lately.
Yeah.
Just great. That's done great. Like, you know, it's a huge thing to bring amateurs or students in.
Yeah.
And teach them. You go, I'll show you how to do this task. And
apprentices.
Then, and then off they go, and you're watching you stand back, and you're watching them go, and you're like, I built that. I made this up in my head, and then I started doing it, and then I gave it to you, and you figured it out, and now it's in your head, and now you're doing it.
Yeah.
And when it's fun, that's the best. That's probably what I'm most proud of, man. Yeah. Because those boys have got good jobs. Yeah. They're happy and they've got good life skills, responsibility, and good qualities in that. You know, they've got to take responsibility for their actions. They're part of the process. You know, there's a team of 4, and they'll be like, okay, I'll handball onto him, he'll handball on him, and we'll handball it through. And, you know, it won't be me as the boss going, you fucked that up, that's no good. It might be someone else in the team go, hey, you've done that wrong. This isn't like, you know, we all just work together. So,
so you're creating that team of leaders.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's not just like, hey, rock up, do what you're told, and there's a paycheck at the end. You know, this shop's here for a long while, man. And, you know, those guys might have little grommet apprentices of their own in a couple of years. We might be busy enough that we'll have to...
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'd like efficiencies to be up around 9 or 10 before I do. But
it's always that constant, like, looking at how it works, fixing little, you know, chinks and just ironing out over and over and over again.
Been having some pretty good meetings with the guys lately.
Yeah.
Having little discussions, just running through, right, remember how we've learnt all this, and remember how you've been coming in and they're your tasks. All right, let's just go through it one by one from start to finish, revise and just go, okay, well, this is a problem that's happening. What are the solutions? As a boss and a leader, you really got to be willing to come off as a jerk. Not, as long as you're compassionate. It's like, don't feel like I'm hounding you. Yeah. This is a problem, and then how do we solve it? And then if you give them the tools to go ahead and...
Well, it's that direct communication, right? Like it gives them it gives feedback straight away for one. It gives them, a problem that they've got to solve. And if there's nothing more frustrating than having people not give it to you straight and just kind of beat around the bush and kind of say,
got no time for that.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it.
We're busy people.
Yeah. Well, you look at like elite teams, like they have those conversations day in, day out, over and over again. That's why they're elite.
Oh, yeah, I'm a footy coach.
Good. There you go.
So, Virtus, I remember when we were overseas, you were on the laptop a lot, having a lot of cool meetings. I remember you snuck off to the hostels and jumped on your laptop with the bunk bed up above you, having little chats with Coobs. And that was pretty cool. You were pretty enthusiastic about running your shop from overseas.
Yeah, and it was cool. I guess, you guys deal with people, you deal with T-shirts. We deal directly with people, so it was really interesting to have... to kind of be taken another step away from that and have to basically go through our other coaches and the rest of our team and we're still very much like that efficiency thing and that figuring out what we're actually trying to do or not so much what we're trying to do but how we're actually trying to do it and working on that model and that time away, that 6 weeks of not being in there. It was really cool because I kind of look at it as like a helicopter view, right? Like you just fucking fly up there and you just hover above.
Absolutely.
You hover above your life.
Well, we were at some pretty high altitudes, weren't we?
100%. And it just gives you like perspective that you don't get, and like being on the peninsula or being in your regular world. Yeah, and that. It shifted a lot of things for me, and it shifted a lot of like what's important and where we're actually headed and how I want it to run. And to be honest, like when we got back, like I had to make a few decisions that were difficult decisions and hard decisions, things that maybe I wouldn't have made if I didn't have that same view and distance. And like to be honest, we almost had to go backwards a little bit afterwards to go forwards. I had to kind of go insular a little bit and tweak a few things and change a few things around how the business was structured and how the business was run, and it opened up. The best part of that is that the hard stuff is figuring out what holes you've got to fill and what holes you've got to fix, and who's going to be the right people to fill that. Because we look at it, we've used the ship analogy as you have.
So you should.
Yeah, 100%. Like we're on a voyage just like you are, and is the ship? Yeah, we want a bigger boat potentially down the track, or now I don't know if I want that. I just want a better boat, a boat that goes faster rather than necessarily a bigger boat. But is everyone in the right roles on the boat? And if they're not, should they be on the boat or should they not, or do they actually want to be on the boat? Like these are the things that you got to start asking yourself and. And it's hard because I think you're always a direct reflection of your team. So when you're struggling with something, and everyone knows it, everyone sees it, everyone feels it, and then you're dealing with people who are dealing with people. So it's if there's one delicate's a good word for it. If there's one thing that we as humans don't understand well enough, it's people, and it's ourselves. And then you add relationships and everything on top of that. It's a really cool. I've loved it this year because I've felt more out of my comfort zone and more out of like, or probably I've doubted myself in the last 6 months more than I ever have. And I love that because I understand how important it is. It's almost like you start learning about a topic and you're like, okay, I'm pretty fucking nailed down this topic, and then you realise, there's more to learn, and then you get deeper. I look at it like an upside down funnel. Right, so you got an upside down funnel, you got that little tubey bit. That's when you start learning about a topic. You're like, this is fucking easy. Like, I know it. And then you open up to that expanse of the funnel, and you're like, holy shit, there is so much more to learn. Yeah. And I feel like my self-awareness and ability to manage and lead and all those kind of words, I'm getting better and I'm learning more, but you start to realise how expansive that
Well, you've got to do it, man.
is. Yeah,
You have to do it. You built the business. There's no turning back now. You're responsible for human beings' health, and you're responsible for the health of the human beings who are coaching the human beings. In a way,
Yeah.
you know, you've got your team, and they've got to have it together. Trying to make people's lives better, health better, and
yeah. It's always really interested me, like, you know, I guess coming from a football background, how everyone's got their own individual kind of hopes and desires and dreams, and for those listening at home, you're going to hear a train every couple of minutes, but deal with it.
Metro,
It's
City Loop,
City Loop.
Frankston.
It's going to be a nice little background noise, I'm sure.
It is. It's good. It's good. It makes you know that there's something going on out there.
Yeah, but there's other people doing different things, and that knowing that there's individual desires and goals and ambitions in amongst the team goals and desires and ambitions. Like, you'd be the same with all your boys. They'd all have their own things they want to accomplish and achieve, and to help people, I guess, become more aware of what they want. That's and you figuring out what you want, and then the needs and the wants of the business shift a little bit as well, to kind of try and meet that. It's an interesting accumulation of wants and needs, because not everyone can win. Not everyone can kind of get what they want all the time.
Tell you what I gained about my business when I was away.
What's that?
I just thought, fuck it.
Probably perspective, right?
Yeah, I was like, I just was so far away from the shop and everything. I was like, everything's fine. Just relax, man. Like,
Yeah.
I've been so absorbed by it that, you know, when we first got there, we were both ringing the shop all the time. I was trying to hang on to the shop, and after a week I was like, nah, this is all good.
Yeah.
Let's go travel.
Yeah.
And then, like, towards even after, I was like, man, just let it do its thing. I've got my job and I've got my responsibilities and I've got expectations to work hard.
Yeah.
But, you know,
You tick those boxes.
I was like, this is it's fine. The business is alive. Now I've got to get out there and live.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely, and like I'm sure you felt the same thing. Like, once you kind of do let go and do detach, it runs more smoothly than if you kind of tried to hang on. What was that process like of, you know, week one kind of going, oh, shit, this has happened.
Oh, I don't know, man. The longer we were over there, you know, every day I sort of detached myself, because I was like, the thing's not going to fall apart. Worst case scenario, everyone goes home. Look, it's not working out. I'm here for the next 5 weeks. Just everyone goes home. There's no work. Sorry, we shut down. That's like that. But that never was going to happen. And I realised that, and I thought, well, don't worry. My time here experiencing this is more important.
Yeah.
And it was like, at the start it was odd. Hey,
It's a weird feeling.
we got there. We rocked up in Santiago, and we sort of stayed in the ghetto a bit, eh?
Yeah.
And you know, like at the end when Sasha was showing me his photos of Santiago, he's like, I love that place, man. Dude, I didn't see anything good there.
Yeah.
We just like hiked through the city.
I know.
And then we would just keep looking at things. We were so out of our comfort zones. Hey, we weren't sure what to do.
It was cool. It was really interesting, because we had, like, obviously the wedding like a week in or a couple of days in.
Yeah, so we just sort of killed time for a couple of days. We got down to where the wedding was, and then we saw all my friends and stuff, and that's when it started to get a bit more fun. But I remember those first couple of days, we were both just like, here we are, let's just go for a walk through town.
We just basically went.
We didn't do any research. We were so busy. Remember, like I booked that hostel like a week before we got there, and the Airbnb at Pitchalemu where the wedding was.
Yeah.
It was like, we're booked, dude. We're safe. Like we are set for the first week.
And we were running so hard to try and make sure that by the time we left, we're actually ready to go, and like that probably helped alleviate some of those stresses that we'd done so much work in the lead up.
Remember when we left Pitchalemu and I got the wrong bus?
Yeah, so we're gonna go. We're gonna, like, I don't know, relive the trip a little bit. For anyone that wants to go to South America, now is the time to pay attention, because it is an incredible place.
We got some pretty good tips.
Yeah,
man.
like I remember once, like that first Airbnb in Pichalimu when we were trying.
Cozy, wasn't it?
It was. Oh, I loved
Lovely
it. It was really nice.
What was it called again? I think it was just called Surf Hostel.
Surf Hostel, yeah. And there was like
speak any English.
well, neither of them did they?
A little bit. She was
That was really interesting. That was like, holy shit, should have spent a little bit more time on Duolingo. And like you'd spent a bit more than me, so I was kind of relying on you. Forgotten it all?
I came back going, I'm going to do Spanish lessons. I'd love to learn that language.
A week later, you're like, nah, I forgot it all.
Going to Europe next, mate. They all speak English over there.
Yeah, well, that helps. But yeah, that Pichalimu, and then
Well, that was nice.
That was a beautiful place.
Llamas on the beach, and the beach was black.
Yeah, black sand.
But it was volcanic. Like, there was signs everywhere for evacuation point here, because there's tsunamis hitting that joint.
Well, yeah.
Chile, west coast of South America.
Yep.
And beautiful wedding. Had a good time with Gaz. Loose was loose. It was a fucking loose wedding. It was a loose,
very
little,
fun few days.
Bucks night. We had a fire out the front of one of the houses, and we just got loose.
Yeah.
Good wedding. Gaff and Barb's celebrated that. Gaff is my mate from high school, so seeing him get married, just so proud.
On the other side of the world was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a dismal day for weather, but they just explained to the audience this was a beautiful wedding. It was at a restaurant that had a the courtyard out the back, and then it went down onto the beach. Smack
bang on the
and there was a big fire pit down there. At night we sat by it and had some drinks, and they got married right at the fence back there where the beach was. And
so there was this massive sunrise.
Dude,
sunset.
As soon as they got married, as soon as the priest started doing his thing, and oh wow, there was this epic orange sunset, and it was awesome. It was beautiful.
Yeah. That sunset was just immense. It was because the weather had been shit, and we were a bit worried. Like, then we'd sat inside, played cards for a couple of hours.
Yeah, that day.
Yeah, because we were like waiting for the sun to go out, and just didn't, and then it just exploded. So that was
Oh yeah, we drank Pisco Sour. Damn.
Was that in?
Yeah. That was at the wedding. They had Pisco Sour.
Like,
it was Chilean Pisco Sour. And then when we got to Peru, they were all like, no, our Pisco Sour's better. So is our football team and our women. It was like, settle down. We love it all the same.
Yeah.
But Pisco Sour, man, that's a delicious drink. But whoa, you do not know how much you're drinking.
It's basically like drinking, delicious apple juice.
Yeah.
And then 4 later, you're upside down and pantsless, shirtless. It was outrageous drink, but
it was good.
And then we went to leave Pichalimu, and old mate booked the wrong bus.
Yeah,
which was pretty funny.
Yeah, but I booked the right bus. I booked the
right bus, wrong day.
Yeah, the Peru hop.
Oh, mate,
I'm glad I found that.
Yeah,
because we were sitting at that Airbnb, and that's probably the day of the wedding. We're like, okay, where are we going next? And you're like, I want to go to Ica. So like, okay, cool. And we had our flight to Lima.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's get on in. Let's do the work. What do we got to do? I searched on the phone. Getting from Lima to Ica, and it was Peru hop.
Yeah.
I was like, anyone listening, you're going over there, Peru hop is sick. You get a wristband, you book online where you're going to pick you up, and you just get on the bus full of backpackers. They'll take you to one joint. If you can get off, they'll recommend you where to stay. Yep. Then you'll meet up, and you'll go out and party with them.
You can stay for as long as you want, or you can get back on the bus. It's
and you'll
pretty cool bloody system.
It was sick. So I was like, check this out. Like, we can do this for a certain amount of days, or like, here's the prices. And we ended up just cool, let's just get our ticket then. You were like, it sounds good. So boom, we booked those tickets, and then had the wedding a couple of days later. Off we went, got on the wrong bus. I was pretty concerned.
That was pretty funny.
We were cozied up to right in the front.
Mate.
We had comfortable seats. We were going to watch through the double windows right in front. We were just going to watch this whole thing. I started doing a time-lapse video.
The worst thing was they realised, because a guy kicked us out of our seats.
3 or 4 stops down the road.
Yeah, so we were like at the other end of town, and we had to go back to the bus stop. But
2-hour bus ride, we could have ended up sitting in the aisle.
Yeah, we asked.
Or kicked off. We would have been kicked off.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this is my seat. Like, nah, but check this out.
This seat?
He says it's for tomorrow.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, we ended up getting back to Santiago, and then
went to Lima.
jumped on a plane.
Lima was beautiful.
It's an incredible place.
Yeah.
The edge of the it feels like the edge of the world a little bit.
Pretty modern city too. You've got a lot of people out there doing fitness and, being healthy, working corporate jobs.
So many people running.
Useful city, I reckon.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool place. Like, they're
all right. Lima was all right.
Yeah,
we started eating some good food.
That was where
Peru's food. Epic.
I haven't been everywhere in the world, but Peru's probably the best food I've eaten.
Yeah,
just the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah, we'll break the ice here. I'm just going. No more veganism.
You're done.
Yeah, that trip was like you have to eat.
Yeah,
you are hiking.
Yeah, you had a crack for a week.
Oh, like a day. No, well, you're at the hostel and they hand you this platter and you're like, it's free.
Yeah.
You're on a budget, you got to go do it. There was heaps of vegan places, right?
Yeah. There are a few vegan. Well, that's true.
But I just was like, look, there's reasons why I was going vegan and there's reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing now. But here it is, there's eggs there, there's fruits, salad, vegetables, whatever, fuck, just eat it. So, came back, got a bit of added protein in the diet.
Good.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, ethically sourced, surely.
I started archery.
Good.
And start getting out there, going off grid, hunting
That'll
my
happen.
food. I've always wanted to live sustainably, man.
Yeah.
But I had my reasons. Go vegan, eat clean. Don't go to the factory farmed crap. Don't do it.
Well, it's good that you're like a trip like that can kind of not change your beliefs, but just tweak them slightly. And
well, here we are, right? Talking food.
Yeah.
It was just because the reason I'm bringing it up, that oysters. Those oysters.
The first thing we ate, basically the first thing we ate in Peru, was these.
Clams.
They were clams, yeah. They were clams with cheese and this sauce and mashed potato.
Fucking hell.
I wake up some nights sweating just thinking about it.
It was good.
Yeah.
All the food.
And we just picked a random place.
We did,
I don't think we could have basically eaten anywhere.
So listen, man. When I was there, I did a lot of soul searching and just mental researching about food and my diet.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't close any doors. Just wanted to go down my path and whatever. And you're just looking at the food these people are eating and you're just like, that's not going to change. They've been doing this for centuries.
Yeah.
They're just on barbecues on the corners cooking chickens and whatever else. I might think it's gross, but it's not all going to change.
Yeah.
And I think my perspective of veganism changed.
That's interesting.
And I still love eating vegan food. I still eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
But
is that like black or white?
I just considered eating meat again, right? And so happened that there was a great Rogan podcast, because you and I had our headphones in quite a lot.
Yeah.
There was an awesome Rogan podcast.
There was a heap of downtime, so a lot of Rogan got
a lot of
consumed.
Yeah. Well, he had that podcast with that guy from Canada. I think it was Toronto.
The guy who runs the restaurant.
That was an amazing podcast, man.
It was.
And a good story. He has a restaurant where they served wild game, and that's ethically sourced meat.
Yeah.
It's not going buying off a truck, factory farm stuff off a truck. Anyway, he puts a little sign out the front, makes a joke, venison is the new kale. Some vegan cyclists don't like it. And he starts throwing rocks at his shop. And they start abusing him on social media, and it's terrible.
They had picket line for a bit.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I know which side of the fence I'm on for this.
Yeah.
I've got my choices for my diet. I've got my choices about the world. And I'm still going with these guys like that. Just settle the fuck down, right? Death threats? Serious?
It's outrageous.
A restaurant, man.
Yeah,
it's outrageous. And these people are going into the restaurant to have a date, and there's people yelling at them, "You're a murderer!" Blah. Like, settle down. So there's
taking things a little too far.
There was a big conversation on that podcast, which really confirmed things for me, and I was already in agreement with them. So I'm not saying I'm a big meathead now, but it was really good to have Joe Rogan. I look up to him, inspired by him, and then you're listening to this while you're sort of looking at things going. I'm in South America. There's heaps of food, heaps of meat. I didn't even eat meat over there once. We had chicken barbecue. It wasn't even that good.
Yeah, alpaca was pretty delicious.
Oh yeah, you ate alpaca.
Oh, it was so amazing. I didn't hit guinea pig though.
You ate guinea pig.
Nah.
Remember that time we fucking had this guy next to us? He had guinea pig.
He had a whole guinea pig, and he was taking photos of it, and then they took it back and they chopped it up.
Pig, about the size of a foot, about 4 or 5 foot, on his plate with chips. It was just brown and just like
flat,
pretty much flat and just scaly.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it over there like, no way, man, what?
It was pretty.
Full cooked guinea
it was
pig.
hectic.
And then they took it. He took a photo of it.
They took it away,
Someone
chopped
took
it
a
up.
photo of him.
Yeah.
He wasn't the healthiest guy in the world either, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Big,
he wasn't.
Overweight, rich man, guinea pig special.
Yeah, but
So
yeah.
the food was epic.
Food was incredible.
We
But then
ate mad food.
Then we jumped on the bus.
Jumped on the bus and made some mad friends.
That was the cool part. I think being on it from the start, like, because people came and gone, and we were kind of lucky enough to already have our kind of crew of
Made a crew.
people from all around the world.
Some of them got off and we caught up with them later, and some of them we caught up with further down the track.
Yeah.
They were from America, they were from Switzerland,
Estonia,
England, Estonia. Yeah, Germany, yeah, it was a good crew. And I remember, man, like, I was saying to you while I was over there, I was like, man, I feel so good about myself. I'm just being so social and outgoing.
Yeah.
You know, having consumed myself in this business and being a little outcast, I was just completely fine with it all. And like, I do that at home, but here I just felt like a champion. I felt like I was expressing myself.
Be whatever you want to be, yeah.
Comfortable talking to people. Wasn't a bonehead.
No, it was good because like you just came straight out of the show, and
I did,
and it was a perfect kind of combination of events with jumping on the bus and meeting all those cool people and.
Oh, we had activities, man. We
Yeah.
rocked up in one place. We went quad biking in the sand.
Mate, that was cool. That was what kind of kicked it off for our group, I think. Like, right at the, like we had lunch, and then someone goes, "Do you want to go quad biking?" And a bunch of us went quad biking, and a bunch of us broke down, and it was just, you know.
That was that cool thing about Peru Hop, because they were just like, the guy would get on the microphone and huff it out before we get to the joint. He's like, "Okay, guys, if you're here, you know, I strongly recommend you do this. I strongly recommend you do it was Wakachina. He's like, if you come to Wakachina and you don't go sandboarding, like, or dune buggying, you may as well not come here at all."
That was hectic.
So he planned, he's like, tonight we're going quad biking in, where was that place? Paracas, yeah?
Yep.
And then we went off to Wakachina. That was sick. An oasis in the desert.
Yeah.
And you're just jumping on a buggy with your sandboard, blitzing through this place, man, holding on for dear life to the cage of the dune buggy.
Those buggies were going hectic.
It was sick.
That was insane.
Yeah. And there was like, the faster they go, the more fun it is. That was there.
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
It was
and then
sick.
Go to the top and chuck some old rickety snowboards on and roll down the
I did it.
slide down. You didn't?
Oh no, I dogged it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I gave mine to Levi.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh Jesus, I'm not really this good. I'm not dropping in on that. Because a snowboard, you can carve a bit, you know, and surfing.
Yeah, it's so.
These were nutty.
Yeah.
Just flat down, hold on, and then.
Because of the sand, you couldn't carve. Like, it was just, you catch an edge and you're gone.
Yeah.
So it's basically just point it down the hill, and these were steep. Like, these were basically vertical sand dunes, and you got 100, 150 meters just straight down, and you just got to hold on and try not to lean back too much, trying to lean forward too much. It was cool because like a month before we went, I was in Japan snowboarding so I was like, okay, I got this. And it's just like, I can get from the top and to the bottom without falling off. I'm doing okay. Then you just look behind you and there's people just rolling down the hills. It was, That's
a different world, man. We're in the desert, hey?
Yeah.
We're in the fucking desert.
A massive
South
desert.
America.
And you think deserts and you're like, deserts, there's always going to be stuff there. But this desert was just nothing.
Oh.
And we didn't even end up going to the big desert in between Peru and Chile, the Atacama.
We blitzed it, eh? We blitzed the trip.
Yeah.
I
Bloody oath
blitzed
you
my
did.
trip in Europe as well, but we blitzed. We moved fast. There's so much to see.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of trip I like doing those kind of trips, like the go kind of.
Squeeze it all in.
You have your rest time on the bus or overnight, or you're sleeping somewhere. And
I tried to keep up with you halfway through. You were, I'm going south. I'm like, I want to stay here. So I stayed.
Yeah, well, that was kind of cool because like we kind of got two ends or two different views of the trip. Like we got the trip together with the big crew of people.
Well, I was just really keen to nurture that friendship I made with Tom and Mika.
Yeah,
I was getting along with them heaps well, and when we were on Death Road, they said they were going. I'm like, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because what was after Wakachina?
So Wakachina,
we went to
Arequipa. We did that that hike, and I wasn't. Oh, you're saying to me, Lena, hey, you want to go on a hike? I'm like, oh shit, Lockie's inviting me on a hike. He's like, this fucking
dude, we're doing the hike.
A footy player guy. I can't keep up with him.
And you're fine.
Like, oh, do you reckon I can do it? And I smashed it. I loved it. I fucking loved it. I went to bed that night when we got down, and I was like, tomorrow I've got this 3-hour walk straight up.
And we're up at like 4 a.m.
Crack of dawn. I said, I am not going to pussy out on this. I'm just going to one foot after the other, not look down.
Left foot, right foot.
Yeah.
That was a fun hike. Colca Canyon.
Beautiful, man.
Just 2 days of just straight down the bottom, across the bottom to where we're staying, and then back up the side.
There's so much beautiful colours in that canyon. Like the greenery, the stone cliffs.
Well, the birds, the condors.
Yeah, big condors, like a 4-metre wingspan. Saw a couple of them.
They're big birds.
And we, I would sing out to you. You might be 20 metres or whatever in front of me. I'd be like, Lucky, look at that, man. Like, look at that cliff face. Or, look out there. Like, we were just so small in this giant canyon in
it was
this
like the
world.
Second or third deepest canyon in the world. Like I think it's twice as deep as the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And you look at the Grand Canyon, you're like, wow, that's incredible. This one was... You couldn't take a photo because, like...
No, man.
Of its
too
depth.
many photos. Yeah.
I haven't looked through my photos yet. That camera, I haven't touched
I printed a bunch out.
That's awesome.
I just got to Officeworks and just tick, burned. I don't even know.
Yeah.
The ones I got, the best ones I've got there. Colca Canyon was awesome, man. I got to the top of that thing before everyone else. I wasn't racing, but I was just like, I am just going to stomp all the way up this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just going, and it was a challenge, and I achieved it, and I was like, wow.
It was very
fucking
cool.
fit.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool thing. Like, that's what I have a lot of people, like, because I've done a few hikes around here, and people say, I could never do that. I'm like, well, all you have to do is, all it is walking.
Go traveling with Lockie, you'll be forced to do it.
It's just, all it is just going for a walk with usually a pack on your back.
Yeah, mental strength though.
Yeah.
Like you look down, you're like, or you look up. In fact, don't do that.
You don't worry about how far you've got, because like we started that trek back up in the dark. You can see the headlights, and that's about it. And it was just...
Well, the guide was awesome, wasn't he?
He was a legend.
He was knowledgeable, friendly, and that difficult walk back up, he was... Guys, every 20 minutes, we're going to stop here.
Yeah.
Everyone around,
have a quick chat, eat.
Taking off half of our clothes. Yeah. We geared up in thermals and everything.
Because it was so cold when we started.
Yeah, it's cold when you're standing still.
I loved it though.
After 3 steps, you're hot.
You sit there for 5 minutes and okay, vamonos.
Yeah.
Straight off.
Vamonos, yeah. And the dog was following us. How about all the dogs in South America? All of them just stray dogs through the streets and whatever. Friendly, safe. It's awesome.
It might have been after... So after Arequipa, where did we go? We went to... Cusco.
Pretty sure we went to Cusco, man. That's a beautiful little town, man. Whoa.
Cusco it's like another world.
Well, it was autumn there still. It was fresh. I just remember feeling good vibes there. And, well, that's the town that you go to if you're going to go to Machu Picchu. So from there, we booked our little trip up to Machu Picchu. We only did the overnight stay.
Well, because I think there's so many different hikes you can do to Machu Picchu. From any, like, that you can, like, we did Rainbow Mountain, right?
Yeah, we did Rainbow Mountain.
That was an insane hike.
That epic lagoon after.
Yeah.
After Machu Picchu, did we think it could get better? Nah, we go to this other one. What was that place called?
The lagoon. Oh, mate, I couldn't tell you. I'd have to have a look at the photos. Hold on. I've actually... Rainbow Mountain, then we went to Cusco.
I can't remember what that lagoon was, man, but it was epic because you couldn't see the lagoon. You're hiking up, and after like 2 hours or 90 minutes or something...
Salcante.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
Then you get up and you just got a couple of rocks and maybe 5 more meters to just hike, and you're zigzagging a bit, and then you can see a giant mountain with snow on it in front of you.
You're like, we're never going to make it.
It looks like 200 meters in front of this little ledge that you've got to come up to, and then you get there and you're popping up and your head starts bobbing over the rocks, and then there's this huge blue reflective lagoon and brown mountains, black mountains going up and white snow all over it, and you're just like, I'm breathing, hiking, just like, what the fuck? That was like heaven, like arriving in heaven. It was amazing.
That was incredible. But like that trip to Machu Picchu was something else.
It was cool.
I think it was kind of a bit straight of mystery. Like you're like, oh, how do we do it? Do we have to book a tour or whatever?
Yeah.
We ended up getting a bus.
Like everything, we just sort of
winged it, and it worked. We got a bus to the station, and then you 10k walk along the railway.
But the bus to Machu Picchu, like looking out the window, it's like a 6-hour bus ride, man?
It was a long bus ride.
Long fucking bus
and that's
ride.
the thing, like
I had my head looking out the window that whole time, like, what? We're going through canyons, along mountainsides. I felt rather unsafe.
Right on the edge of, and you look down, and it's just 200-meter vertical drop.
But beautiful.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
It was incredible, and I think that was the cool thing about, because some of those bus rides you sleep, some of them you kind of like.
Some of them you hold for your dear life. On the way back from Rainbow Mountain, I was like, if I die, and that was the last thing I did.
Play on.
I didn't think it was that great.
Rainbow Mountain.
No, but I was like, dude, you're just like the only reason why you want to overtake this guy is because you don't want to drive behind him.
Yeah.
Just sit behind him.
Yeah.
Driver was reckless, man.
The drivers were hectic. I remember you just like, dude, he's gone so fast. I'm like, mate, there's nothing we can do. Just take it as it comes.
Accept your fate.
Yeah, basically.
Well,
and then Machu Picchu. That was that town down the bottom. Do you remember what that was called?
Yes, Aguas Calientes.
Aguas Calientes.
Warm water or cold water? I think it's warm. Warm water.
Yeah, that place was like
pretty awesome.
It looked like
it was vibrant.
Yeah,
it had a energy resonating in the little town already, didn't it?
Just a train station, a bunch of little shops, and the river. That river running through it was going hectic.
Oh, actually, it was a giant river.
Yeah, it was big. It was thick. It was I don't know. It kind of reminds me of what's that little town, Rivendell in in Lord of the Rings, where the elves live. It kind of reminds me of like a modern, slightly less magical version of that. It was just this cool place, and you're full of anticipation, right? Because you're looking forward to the next day.
There's a buzz there.
And then we had a little bit of a hiccup on getting up there.
Oh, walking down the wrong way.
No, we
followed the tracks. I'm like, guys, it's up here. Look, there's a sign. And you're like, no, it's this way. Rightio. Get to a dead end. No, we got to go back.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, I was
No, the night before when
we weren't sure if we were going to get our guide and stuff. And
our guide.
That's the thing. Be careful. Like, how you going to do that? Well, I don't know what happened. It was a shit fight.
Well, we booked the morning and then didn't get the morning and had to get back to the bus and basically they have this loophole where if you've got transport you can go in at 9 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. and
well, we rushed it. Like, we were only there for
a few hours.
Like, not even 24 hours. We arrived at dusk. Oh, the walk to Machu Picchu as well. Walking from
I love that.
The bus. It was like a 3-hour walk. That was epic.
10Ks along the railway.
And then you get there and it's dark, and then basically, we organised our thing.
Had dinner.
And then we hiked up there the next day.
And that was
hike, man, climbing up a mountain pretty much, like very steep. Climbing stone steps.
Just vertical.
Just zigzagging vertically up, little streams coming past, lush green plant life all over.
Yeah.
And then you get there and it's busy as fuck.
So many people.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I am no one to say that, people shouldn't be able to experience things like that. But I don't know. It's just the kind of thing that you're like, this is the kind of place you should have to walk to, or you should have to go through some pain and suffering to see.
It'd be worth it if you went during the hard time. Like, I went to Rome and it was so busy.
Yeah.
This is better if you're here during quiet times. Like, no shit. Like,
yeah.
But I could not believe how many people were at all these places I've been to.
Buses and buses and buses lining up, and
I don't know. I reckon it's going to get. It seems like it's getting so busy that it's going to be like unaccessible soon. So I'm imagining, what are people going to go and do? I don't know, but like, when we actually got to Machu Picchu and started going in and looking around, it was so crowded. There was that little ledge where you take your photo, and there's like people lining up so they could get their photo. And you're almost like, well, quick, take my picture so I can move, because I'm crowded by people and I want to experience this landscape. I want to experience this place. This is an epic place. Look at it.
Well, that was kind of one of those moments where you're like, whoa. Like, it was a proper take your breath away. Like, this is incredible.
Oh, man.
Being at the top there and having our guide talk us through it all. And
yeah, man, what were they doing there? Why? What the fuck did they build that place up there for? Miles away from anything. So hard to access. and it was a fully sustainable society, and amazing, man, just really amazing. Sometimes when I'm home now, I think about being back there, and I'm like, wow, I went there. That was like so blessed to have seen it. And
yeah, that feeling of like just being full of energy afterwards. I remember walking down and like I think we ran down.
Yeah, we ran.
And we had a beer at the bottom, and then we like just ticked the legs over back to the bus. But I remember being pretty so excited, so happy. It was just and like that didn't go away for a couple of days.
Yeah,
like that just like euphoria.
You gain something from it, eh?
Yeah,
you gain something from going to that place.
Yeah, it's a nice little perspective thing, and it's cool to be in a place that's so old and
also isolated from everything, man. I remember he said how they would get messages from there to like other cities like Cusco or Lima or wherever they needed to talk. They would just get these guys to run.
Yeah, just runners.
Here's a message for them. Run. He'd run for hours through the jungle.
Yeah.
And then he'd tell another guy.
And he'd run
it again.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And you're like, that's great. I just felt like you guys had it better. What we're doing is so cooked.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
And they're
different.
Players,
Yeah.
They were pretty, I don't know, they were doing something right.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
Yeah. And then
it was beautiful.
The Mexicans came in and killed them all.
Yeah. But they may not have.
Potentially.
You know, you're standing on Machu Picchu in one area there, you're standing there, and you're looking like 360 on the horizon is just giant mountain ranges.
Yeah.
So you're like, if it was me, I'd just be running in there.
Well, I remember when we walked past the gate to go to the next one.
Oh, you saw mine?
No. What was that top one? It's like Huayna Picchu?
Yeah, Huayna Picchu, yeah.
And it's just like, we had a chance to go up there.
Oh, yeah, we had a little sneaky opportunity.
And we didn't.
You go back. I reckon I'll go back there one day.
Yeah. I'd love to take KP to Machu Picchu and have her experience that. I think it's... Now that we've done it that way, it'd be cool to do it on either a longer hike, or you could basically just fly into Cusco and go and do it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it was very cool. And like that, we had a couple of days of... I've lost my voice. Pardon me. I had a couple of days of just being on feeling like we're on a mountain.
Can't even explain it. I mean, it was just epic. Machu Picchu was the best place on the trip. It was the best. I got a top three.
What's your top three?
Number one was Machu Picchu. Number two, can't remember now. But the football match in Argentina was in the top three. That's
cool.
Sick.
That's cool. What's number three? What's the last one?
Oh, this might have been the lagoon.
Yeah, that was cool.
That lagoon. Being on a boat in Bolivia was pretty sick. Death Road was rad.
Yeah, because we just got the bus across
After
the
that,
border.
we went down
Puno.
to
Lake Titicaca.
Puno has nothing. Don't go
Puno,
there.
yeah, don't go to Puno. Don't spend any time in Puno. It was rubbish. And then what was
we went to Lake Titicaca. Strange place.
It was cool.
Giant lake, like heaps high up in the mountains.
It's like the highest lake in the world. But
and we went and stayed at Copacabana. I thought it was going to be different.
Yeah.
It wasn't as luxurious as I thought. It was beautiful. It was a resting point.
Yeah.
But with time that we had, we probably could have kept moving.
Yeah.
I did very much gain something though from going to the Island of the Sun.
That was incredible.
And then you had the Island of the Moon opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, I don't know, I felt like I personally gained something because we were sort of at this sort of quiet time where we had some wine with our friends.
We met a couple of girls from...
Yeah, and we were out there on the deck and we looked at the stars and we had good chats.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we had real gnarly group chat.
Yeah, that was very fun.
Yeah, and we were basically...
We went under the light globe so that we could have darkness.
Yes, we did. Yep, communicated that.
Yep.
With the language of love to the owner because he didn't speak English. Hand gestures as well.
What the fuck are you doing? Basically. They're like, dark, stars. He's like, stars.
Yeah. That was nice. It was like...
That was a good moment.
It wasn't expected. Yeah, it was cool. And where were we? We were basically almost in the middle of the continent, like up super high in the mountain ranges.
Just staring at the stars.
On a mountain.
Yeah. On a lake.
On a lake. This giant lake.
Yeah.
And it was the people who were the Mayans, or the Incas, in fact, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They called that the island of the sun.
Yeah.
And opposite was the island of the moon.
Yeah.
And I found that really special because the people who were there, I just felt like they had ownership of the land, and they were, they respected and understood the land really well, and they were getting ready for major tourism and economy.
Yeah.
There was like big old ladies just carrying huge bags of coke and supplies.
Well, that was
up
it.
the hill
Like they
with
just
donkeys.
Yeah.
Taking their supplies up the hill to their shack where people would go and stay. It's like so poor, but just like, so we're going to do this for our future. Yeah. And they were carrying
that's
every
their lives.
bottle. They made their boats out of bottles, didn't they? Plastic bottles, like those boats on Lake Titicaca.
Yeah, that was in Puno. Yeah, they used a lot of waste to like
straw. And plastic bottles.
Yeah, to make their little rafts, like where they live on. It was like the floating town.
Floating town.
But yeah, seeing the boats rock up with all the supplies and then have them carrying, like have the guys and girls chuck them on their backs and just carry them up the hill. And that hill was steep.
Oh, dude.
I remember getting 3/4 way up going, what is happening? We picked the highest one. That might have been my fault.
Whatever.
Worth the walk.
I don't mind.
More star. We got closer to the stars. Slightly. That was pretty wonderful.
That was a bit... that was a bit inconvenient, actually, wasn't it? We rocked up there, and you see all these places, but it was booked out, wasn't it? It wasn't quite popular, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know why we picked that one.
Who knows? But it was.
Hostel
we didn't
World.
realise it was right up top, and we marched all.
I think we looked. I think we looked and we were like, oh, it's only K1/2 from the thing, but that K1/2 was vertical. That was hectic.
And we had our backpacks. We didn't like just have an overnight bag. We took everything.
Yeah, we took a lot.
Gained some fitness. Come back with some glutes. They're gone now. But I gained some leg strength. So what was after that? We blitzed over to
La Paz, man.
La Paz.
I love
that city. I hated it.
Why'd you hate it?
Just so dirty, man.
Yeah, there's so much going on. It's hectic.
Yeah.
I don't think you see cities like most of the Western world, and you just like, especially us in Australia, it's just flat. Right, and then La Paz is just like amongst these rolling hills. There's buildings everywhere.
Isn't it a gully? Isn't it just like it just surrounding it, and then boom, it's there. It's just
it's almost like a canyon of, and then.
Dude, if there was a flood, that place would be gone.
It's so high up, probably going to be okay.
Flooded by Lake Titicaca.
Potentially.
Maybe the Incas would pull out their plugs. And you had to work the aqueducts.
Yeah. Maybe.
But they're mates with La Paz, clearly, because La Paz is still there.
That place was pretty cool. I love that place.
It, we went for a nice walk with Sasha that day.
We
slept in. Because they put you in these bunk beds. Close the shutters, man, and it's dark all day.
These bunk beds were like big coffins. I didn't hate it. I liked it. And then I went out.
Had a good day.
Spent the day with Sasha.
I was probably wasted the night before.
We went up all the.
You got to explore
all of the gondolas and explored the city, and
I liked that. I like the gondolas. I loved seeing different infrastructure in cities. So you see this city where to get from one end to the other end.
The streets are so small and windy. It's so hard to get the cars to do it.
I loved it. I loved the cars. This is sick. And they had like 3 different ones. One going that way, another one that way, and then another one that went to the top.
Yeah.
It was pretty scary though. While I was on the gondolas up high, I was pretty much like, because it was poor. Yeah.
Well, you see some. The gondolas like brand new from made in Switzerland or something, and then you've got underneath kind of like people that aren't
rooftops where people are doing it tough. They're just, you can see, man, they're so poor. It was
that was something around like the whole of South America. Just that the gap between poverty and affluence is like a street away sometimes. Like I think Lima was the one where we went through that little shanty town. Do you remember? Just like before, start of Bruja.
Yeah,
and then there's like Shantytown.
The region, didn't they?
And then
because what the trick was, you can buy the property, build the house, but if you leave, if you say I'm going to build a second story, and you leave it unbuilt, you don't have to pay no tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
There you go. So that was really cool. I love that. I love that.
La Paz,
in La Paz, seeing all the gondolas and just exploring the city. Like it was so big. We went through all the markets and got some real coffee. That was cool.
It's so cheap.
Yeah, there was a guy from
so cheap, that place.
a guy from Windsor runs a coffee shop over there.
Yeah,
So I
went there a few times.
Had Australian light coffee.
We actually had real coffee. We had a cappuccino.
Yeah.
We had a proper breakfast dinner with mushrooms and avocado, eggs. You probably had some bacon, I'm sure.
Definitely.
But otherwise, we were like, what is this coffee?
Yeah.
What is this breakfast?
I didn't have a coffee, except for that place. I didn't have coffee for 6 weeks. And,
we didn't have like.
And that was
coffee.
different. That was cool. Yeah. Did you go to the cemetery? No. I remember seeing the cemetery in La Paz was just like something out of a movie.
I think you showed
It
me
was
some photos of that
it was very cool. All the mausoleums, and it was hauntingly beautiful. How about that? It was a little eerie, but like the paintings and the drawings and like obviously they have a fairly intense relationship with death, like the way they view it, and very close family connections. And that was one of the memories I have of seeing all those paintings and stuff in amongst all of the coffins and little mausoleums and stuff. It was very cool. Where did we go? Oh, Death Road.
That was sick.
Yeah. For those that haven't seen videos Death Road, watch the Top Gear special. We rode bikes down that.
Oh man.
It was that was fun. that was fun.
Sick.
That was a lot.
That was so sick.
It wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. It was just fun.
Yeah, I agree.
You did crash into the wall though.
I fucking stacked it.
Yeah.
I went over the falls.
Lucky you went left, not right.
I know. Well, someone had stacked it in front of me.
Yeah, and you had to.
A bit of a commotion down there, about 10, 15 metres ahead, and I just lit straight down. But you get confident, don't you?
Yeah, you're like, I'm doing all right.
Everyone, 3/4 of the way through the day, that's where we were.
Yeah.
And I was telling myself, you are hammering. You're all right. You're hammering. You're good. And I remember, oh fuck, I was coming around a corner. I'm like, oh, someone stacked it. And then it all just gave away. Something twisted. I braked and I went over into a ditch. And I laid down and I remember being in the ditch with my helmet on, just going, am I dead? Or is something fucked up? Is my spine broken? No, I'm all good.
Because we were, like, I was with the guy, like, just in front of you, and, like, I was like, oi, and, like, he turns around, he's like, shit.
Yeah.
And we rode back up, and
like
there's just
three of us
carnage.
Yeah, 3 of us down there. One guy got real
That big guy, like, concussed, properly
concussed. The guy
concussed.
was pissed off at me. He was like, you shouldn't go as fast. I'm like, well...
He was in front, so he was going faster, so...
He led the pace.
Yeah.
It's his fault.
He did. Can't help gravity, mate.
That was a fun bike ride.
Yeah.
It was
cool.
awesome.
It's pretty tough.
Recommend it to everyone. Recommend it if you're scared of heights or that, don't worry.
Nah.
It's all safe.
Yeah.
You'll be looking, look down. Oh, when we took the photos, oh man, I was queasy, hey.
Yeah.
They get you to sit on that ledge and I'm literally leaning back home. I'm like, whoa, man.
I'll make sure I share my little summary of the trip in the show notes, just so people can... look through the photos and
send
stuff.
a couple of pics out there. That was good. Death Road was sick because we had crew. We went with like 4 the guys that we met.
Yeah.
Sasha, Tom, and Mika.
Was it just those 3?
I think so.
Sorry if we've missed anyone out.
Nah, that's alright. There was crew.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And then back to La Paz, and then we
just went straight back to Wild Rover, mate. Started hitting it hard.
We won the beer pong tournament.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
That was
that night. We were still up and about from Death Road, so we were like, I think we were having dinner, and then they're like, beer pong tournament. And I knew one of the bartenders just happened to be one of the guy's brother I knew, and that was pretty funny.
Yeah, you met someone that you know.
Twice. That was weird. Remember in Santiago, he's like, I know you.
Was it in Santiago, was it?
Well, that was the first one. It was a guy who'd done exchange from Brazil. He'd done exchange at Frankston High in Year 10. That first one. Like, we were about to leave.
Santiago?
Yeah.
The first one, what?
First hostel.
First hostel.
Yeah. And we're about to leave to go to Pitcher Limo.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were in the courtyard just there. Oh, no shit. I remember
that was pretty funny.
You went to Frankston, didn't you?
He's like, I know you.
Oh, that was within the first 2 or 3 days.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was super weird. And then in Wild Rover in La Paz, one of the boys' brothers was there. He's like, I know you. That was weird. But then we won the beer pong tournament.
Yeah.
And took home some
really big nights over there. God damn.
Yeah.
Everything's so cheap, you know. Well, what they do there, they give you the wristband and they say you'll pay when you go.
Dangerous.
And then you're just like, oh man, just charge my wristband. You got like 4 long necks for you and your mates, and
it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it was
came back having a bit of a detox from that.
Yeah, after that bit, I think a few days off
What happened
After
after
booze?
that? So yeah,
Well,
you blitzed across because we're getting actually from there over to the other side of the
Continent is so hard.
It's so shit.
Yeah, because we obviously wanted to go to. Well, Iguazu Falls was a stop I made.
Oh, that's right.
and
That's number 2 on my list.
Argentina.
Dude.
Yeah, because I went down south after that and said see you later, and I went down to the Salt Flats.
Yeah. So Salt Flats, I didn't really enjoy.
Yeah.
No, because that guide was shit.
Yeah, we had an incredible
And
guide.
I saw Cactus Island. That was rad. It was just this random rocky island with cactus on it, and everywhere else is just salt. And it was a bit of I was on a little bit of a downer because Tom actually got real sick. Yeah, he was on the bus down there just dying.
Yourself?
Because he got a bit ill. I think I got ill prior. We all got a little bit of the Bolivia belly.
Yeah. You went up to the rainforest.
We went up into the man. Yeah, that was sick. Sleeping in shacks on the river.
Caimans underneath you?
Giant caiman crocodiles underneath us.
That's cool.
And you're looking at them. They were longer than this table, man. They're almost as long as this room. And huge. And they're just waiting for humans to fall in so they can have a snack. They were giant.
Yeah, it's insane.
We saw monkeys. We had monkeys come jump on the boat, jump on our heads, take bananas off us. That was so fun. You're just in this boat that's like 2 people wide, and you just put your hand out and there's the water, and you're just blitzing along the river, and you're in the South American jungle.
It's pretty cool.
So amazing, man. So many different birds, saw so many different wildlife, 4 or 5 different monkeys. We had these capuchin monkeys that just look just like humans. Even the yellow monkeys, I forgot they were called, but they're just so much like humans. They've got these tiny, tiny little human hands and faces with just like beards up to their eyes.
So cool.
And like hairy ears, and they're just like so excited. They just look like tiny, tiny old people.
That's fucking
And they would just come and just jumping out,
hanging
out, boat and climb all over us. And
Yeah.
it was so fun. It was so cute. They're so beautiful.
I love that.
And we had fun. That was awesome. That was going into the wild. That was, and I was like leaving here. I'm like going.
That was
going
proper
into the jungle.
wild, yeah.
I'm going on a boat, going into the jungle, and that's something that I did. I wanted to do that, and that was sick. Made heaps good mates with Tom and Mika, and even seen them in Europe.
Yeah, legends.
But getting from where we were, like even whichever way you went.
Because how'd you do it? Because we did it 2 different ways, right?
Oh man, it's so hard.
So how'd you get?
It's really expensive.
How'd you get from there
I went down
to Buenos Aires?
I caught the boat down to, the bus down to Salt Flats Uni, and like you get there at the early morning, you don't even know who you're going with, or like in uni is a shithole.
It's
It's concrete,
concrete and desert.
fucking concrete desert. What man? Scary.
Yeah, I was a little freaked out.
I'm in.
'cause
This is.
you were with the guys, yeah?
No, well, they were cooked. Like Tommy,
so they
Tommy
didn't
was
end
so
up going.
sick, and Mika was sick, so they had to go like just check in somewhere, and they weren't going to do it with me on the day.
Yeah.
And I was worried. Like this guy said, "Here, you're coming with me. You've got this ticket. Sweet." Unlocks the door. Just sit in here. Closes the door, and I'm like, "When are you coming back? Where? What the fuck?" So I was sat there waiting for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Our guide was shit. The Salt Flats, yeah, good. Take a photo. Good.
Yeah.
That was overrated.
Because like I had a completely different experience. Like I met
good guide.
I met a couple of guys, a couple of Americans, I think a couple of guys from the UK, and then one guy from Narre Warren.
No shit.
So I hadn't seen I hadn't seen an Australian. Laz, he was a legend. I hadn't seen an Australian for like obviously apart from us. For probably almost a month at that stage. Like
I just avoided them.
I hate those guys. But he was a legend. So we hung out for the day, and our guide was elite. Like he was so funny,
cool.
and like he was all about it. Set us all up for the photos, and we did a heap of cool stuff. And and then
I like that picture of you actually. You got the legs there. Everyone's underneath.
Everyone's on the laces, yeah. And then I jumped on the. I went back. I asked him to drop me at the airport, and he dropped me at the airport, and I just made my flight back to La Paz.
So uni, Salt Flats, okay.
Yeah.
Where did I go after that? I don't know, but I think I got a...
You went south, yeah?
No, I went over to Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
I think I flew from uni to Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And then I spent a night in Santa Cruz, and that's interesting. It's a bit of a dive.
Yeah.
But actually, I thought it was a little bit cooler than La Paz. I don't know. I didn't stay there very long. Boom. It was hot.
Yeah.
Flew again over
because
to
you
Salta.
go down to like just above sea level,
altitude.
right? So it's like
Well, that's
super.
crazy there, man.
Yeah. It's super humid.
Then I was in Salta, met up with Ava and Sasha.
Yeah.
We spent the day, and me and Sasha had a beer and a chat. And wow, that was cool. Salta's cute. That was a cute little town.
Nice.
Then I think I got a flight over to Buenos Aires.
From Santa Cruz?
Yeah, from Salta.
Oh, from Salta, yeah.
So, yeah. But then I eventually did get my Brazilian visa. They just
because yours took ages, didn't it?
Like my photos.
Yeah.
They may have just been like, we don't want to let you in, he's too scared.
But you got in there.
Got in there.
Because I remember, because I did mine online and got it in like 2 days, and they said it would take 2 weeks. Yeah, that was something that we didn't plan. We were like, if we go, we probably won't go to Brazil, but if we do, we'll just do it online. And
you have to go to Brazil to see both sides of
Iguazu
Falls, and you had a mate who'd been there, and it was just like, you got to go to both.
He's just like,
I had a mate on Facebook telling me, man, you got to go to both.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I did, because holy shit, that was something else, man.
That was insane.
I got photos in my bathroom here.
Yeah.
When even at work, I like looking at that shit.
That'd just make me need a piss. Just the sheer volume of the sheer volume of water going over those falls.
What the fuck? You just where's the water coming from?
Yeah.
And it's constantly going. It's not like, hey, you visited for the day, good night, we're going to turn the water off. No, that's constantly rushing,
all day, every day.
Slowly coming along the cliffs and then just crashing.
I couldn't believe how different it felt on both sides.
Yeah.
Like, because from Santa Cruz, because I flew to Santa Cruz from La Paz.
Yeah.
I just got a bus to Puerto Cruzeiro or whatever the hell it was called, like on the border.
Paraguay.
No, border of Brazil. So it's like a southwestern corner, like almost of Brazil.
Yeah.
And then I got there like 11:30 at night. No one at the bus stop. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to sleep outside tonight. This dude, I thought, 100%. I was just like, I'll just wing it, it'll be fine. And then this dude, taxi driver rocks up. Like there's like 3 people there. Like 3 taxi drivers rock up, and I'm the only person there. And I go, he goes, grabs my bag and chucks it in. I'm like, border. Like I didn't know it, and my Google Translate wasn't working. And he's like, border, yes, sí, border. So he drives me, and he pulls into like this backyard, and I was like, fuck's going on? And he like walks inside. It must have been his house. He walks inside, grabs something, comes back, pulls out, keeps driving. I'm like, well, it's been great, but I'm done. And then he ended up just taking me to like, he points, he goes, border, 9 a.m. And I'm like, oh, cool, it opens at 9 a.m. So I went and found a place, and I got...
What time was this?
What time?
Yeah.
I got in there at like 1 a.m. And I went and had something to eat, because there was still this little shack open, and I got so sick that night.
Ooh.
Like, I was in, like, it was almost like an actual hotel. Like, it was a nice-ish one. It was right on the border. It didn't cost me that much, but I got so sick, I didn't get any sleep. I ended up getting out, and it was like, when I was empty, at about 11 a.m, and the line at the border was hectic. So I eventually got over by, like, early Arvo, and then taxi into the next town on the Brazilian side, and just, like, went round to a bunch of, like, little shops and kept saying Iguazu, and one guy goes... and obviously asked me if they speak English, but they didn't even speak Spanish because it's Portuguese. So that was an interesting few days. I didn't speak to anyone for probably 3 days of just buses to down to Iguazu.
Fuck.
Got to Iguazu, and obviously it's very very touristy, so everyone spoke English. So I was like, okay, I'm back speaking to people now. Yeah. But it was a cool like little chance to just think and stop and figure
it. Work it out, dude.
It was cool. I loved it. But then, and then getting to Iguazu was just wow.
Well, the walk from, was it the Brazilian side? Yeah, the walk. You're walking along, and there they are, and you take a picture. No, man. That's just one little bit.
Every time you get closer, it gets better.
Better and better, yeah.
Yeah, it's
like amazing. And the butterflies.
So many butterflies. Whoa, they were huge.
So colourful.
And then you get right up close, you're like, whoa, this is something else.
Oh, dude. What the hell is going on up there? That's like a... What do you reckon? 4 stories high building?
Oh.
Look at this factory roof. This is almost 2 stories.
Yeah, it'll probably be three times this.
Wow, man. Yeah, and you've just got mass water, and you'd look up top and you'd follow drops just like zzz, down to the bottom, and you're just like getting mesmerised, just like watching in front of you.
And there's so much spray, you get so wet.
And there's lovely little vegetation on the ground in front of you. It's like it's landed and it's streaming through because you got that bridge walk, and you can go take the shot and take photos and have a look. And you're looking down. It turns a corner, like the canyon sort of turns a corner. And the river's running below you or whatever, and you're just like, what's around there? And like, you couldn't see it. But the next day, you go to the Argentinian side, and it's called the Devil's Throat.
Yes, because you go to the top of it, and you see this massively. It was a big river. It wasn't stupid big, but it was this like maybe 500 to 800 meters across at its widest point, and you just see it all going and dumping over the edge. And like, I lost myself for probably 15, 20 minutes, just like staring at it, just like, what is happening?
Devil's Throat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sat there staring at it for ages. The butterfly landed on my hand. Yeah. That was pretty nice. I was just like, why is so much water moving through there? Where's it coming from? Yeah. It made you feel so insignificant. Yeah. So small. Like, if you just slipped over here.
It wouldn't matter, man. It wouldn't matter.
You got swallowed up. Yeah. Just mass
You would never be seen again.
Falling.
It kind of reminded me of skydiving a little bit. Yeah. Have you done it? No. Like, because when you jump out, you're like, okay, I'm too high and I'm going too fast for my brain to really understand what's happening. Yeah. Like intellectually understand what's happening. Yeah. I'm jumping out of a plane.
Yeah.
But you're going so fast, you're like, there's too much going on. My brain can't process it. I felt like that. I was staring at it going,
too much.
My brain can't process what's happening.
Like your heart's beating because it's so beautiful, and you're just like, this. I don't comprehend this. That's why you feel so insignificant.
And it was hot. It was a nice walk. Yeah. Like, it was something else.
Oh yeah, that's your photo, is it? Just look.
I had a few photos of it. It was something else. It was.
It's amazing, and it's always happening.
Yeah, like, it's still going
all night, all day.
Stopped.
Yeah, no, it's not slowing down or anything. And I recommend that to anyone. Go to South America, do the things we've said.
Do Machu Picchu, do Iguazu
exactly
Falls.
As we've told you.
Don't do a different trip though, because make it your own. Yeah, I was happy with the amount of time. I was happy with what I saw.
Well, you did more Ks than me.
Well,
I basically travelled across the continent because after that I went to Buenos Aires, stayed there for a week, loved it, made some friends, got to know the city, and then flew home. Yeah. But I
spent a couple of days in Buenos Aires, and then
you were desperate to get to Patagonia, man. Yeah. I was like, I reckon I could do Patagonia another time. Yeah. But you got down there.
I'll go again.
Man, I would like to go. I definitely would go.
So I got to Buenos Aires and spent a couple of days there, and I'm like, all right, I got a week left. I'm going to Patagonia because I think I was a couple of days ahead of you, like Iguazu and stuff.
I can't believe you questioned it.
And then John's on a plane down there, bus.
Yeah, that's hard going. That's a long
Got to El Calafate.
Was it like 3,000 Ks away from Buenos Aires almost?
It's a long way. It's like, I don't know how far it is, but it's probably like, and it was probably an hour and a half flight, I think. Someone would be able to fact check me on this.
We're trying to squeeze it in. I was like, I don't want to rush it. I don't think I've
well, it was either like rainforest or Patagonia in the end, right? Mm. And then got down the bottom and went straight to El Chaltén, where Mount Fitzroy is, and had a week of just hiking. Sick. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I had 4 days of hiking. I think I had 4 or 5 days of hiking. Maybe 5.
Sick.
5 days of hiking all day, every day. Just listening to podcasts and audiobooks and like writing, and I was like, okay, I don't want to make any friends.
No, like, just be on your own.
Well, that was the plan. First night, the
Israelis.
Well, yeah, there was 2 Israeli girls in our room, and they go, come have dinner with us. And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. And like, no, it's Israeli Independence Day. We're having a big dinner. Would you want to come? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, no worries. I ended up having like all this shakshuka, all this wine, beer with all these cool. I think it was like 25 Israelis in one big table, and I was the only guy that wasn't just random. Sick. And I was like, okay, so tell me about independence, and like they just dove deep and like taught me all about that. And okay, I made a few friends, and the next day went on a hike with one of them, and then they were all moving on. I was like, okay, now I can chill out, and then those 2 left, and 3 British guys came into my room. Yeah. And I came back from hiking that day, and I'm like, oh, Lockie, nice to meet you. And they're like, oh, cool, we just cooked dinner, come have dinner with us. Yeah. So I had dinner with them and played cards and drank wine for 3 days. And that was...
You can't escape it sometimes.
But it was cool, because it wasn't forced. Like, I was almost like trying to go against it. And
You've got this like iron will, hey. You have a massive night, and then you just be like, get up, pack the bag, we're going.
Going for a walk, yeah.
It was good.
We met.
It was good. Kept me on my toes.
Well, actually, in the airport at Buenos Aires, I think I was on the phone to someone at work, and a girl came over and she goes, "You speak English?" I said, "Yes, I do." She goes, "Good, because I haven't spoken English to anyone for a couple of days. Let's have a chat." And like we got to know each other and had a couple of really good chats. And she went on one of the hikes with us as well. And she shot off down to the glacier. And I was like, I'm a couple of days away from that. The one annoying thing though, I never got to see Mount Fitzroy, which is like anyone that's seen the Patagonia logo. It was named because the guy was a mountaineer early on, mountaineer. It was a climber, and he loved that mountain range, so that's why it was named Patagonia. And that the logo is that mountain.
And what was
the weather was cactus, man. It was raining, it was snowing.
Bit of bad luck with the weather, eh?
But because it was like coming end of autumn, there was so many colours. Like
orange trees, red trees.
It was like a rainbow of trees.
Yeah, dude.
So all the hikes.
I've seen a couple of photos. It's like, that looks nice.
Yeah. So I couldn't see anything past like 100 metres, couple hundred metres away. But I remember going to like one of the waterfalls and it just being colours. It was wonderful.
Nice. You did see one of those epic glaciers though, right? I think
that was
a bridge or something, and you're just like, here it is, and it's just like blue ice.
Yeah, that was after. So that was El Calafate. So I got a bus after my 5 days there, and I had 2 days to get back to Buenos Aires to meet you. So I went straight down El Calafate, booked the trip the next day. Way too expensive, but it was epic. Walked on the ice and did all that and took some photos of it, and it's like you see it, and then it was kind of the same as Iguazu Falls. You see 10% of it, and you're like, then they show you the next 10%. You're like, what? This keeps going. This keeps going. This keeps going. This keeps going.
Yeah.
That was a really cool end to the trip, because I remember I found a book I'd been looking for, Shantaram, and just spent 2 days like either on the bus going to the thing or sitting, like looking over it all and just reading for 2 days.
What a sick trip, huh?
It was, and then straight back up. Saw you. We flew home. That was a rubbish trip home. A rubbish flight home.
Oh, you poor bastard! You didn't have TV.
I know. I was like, it's all right. All my stuff's dead. I've just finished my book. I'll just watch movies the whole flight.
Yeah.
TV didn't work.
Yeah.
And the two people, I was on the window. Two people next.
Baby.
I don't think, was there a baby on the flight? Two people next to me were sleeping the whole time, and I just couldn't sleep, and that was a bit yuck. But then we got home.
Oh, that football match was pretty sick. Oh, that was my last little. It was actually my last experience on the whole trip, other than coming to meet you at the airport.
Yeah, really.
Like, I was in.
Because it was that night, wasn't it?
My mate Roscoe, and I'm like, I want to go to a rugby match or a soccer match.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Argentina, they love their sport, they love their football. I want to go, and they're at the hostel. There's a game. There's a game tonight. It's Boca Juniors, and it's like the biggest club in South America. That's giant club. And on my bike ride of the tour of the city that I'd had the previous day, they were saying all about this club. And man, I got a ticket, and I went, and it was like dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Like you could hear people in the streets like chanting the songs and stuff, and
it's crazy.
And it's legit, like, man. So it was Boca Juniors versus a Brazilian team, and so the stadium was a U shape. Yeah. They actually chopped it in half because there's a building permit wasn't there for whatever. Anyway, this is how the crowd was. All Boca Juniors. Yep. And then the top stand of just here on like the southern end
was a Brazilian side.
And it was all like bulletproof glass, and then riot cops, and they were just green and yellow, and everything else, the whole stadium was yellow and blue. And I got in there, I couldn't believe it. There was fires going off, flares, and they were just singing Boca, la Bocarito, la tira, la tare, just singing their thing, and I was like, this is insane. This is so insane. I am this random Australian dude, just like, what? I just put myself there.
That's
this huge crowd of Argentinians, and they was just singing, and you just could not help but get taken away by the passion they had for the club, and just singing all their awesome, catchy songs.
Yeah.
And like you just want them to win. I think they went down by 2 points or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were so passionate. The young guys next to me, they were like skitzing out because it was their own goal. They were like fuming the keeper. I don't know, man. That was wild. That was such...
What a way to finish, though.
It was sick. It was a huge celebration because legit, I went on the bus back to my hostel, picked up my bag, got on the taxi, and then went to the airport and flew home. It was so cool. It was so cool. And I love Buenos Aires. I reckon that city's sick. I'd go back there. Heaps of plants.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Heaps of greenery all through the city.
Froths on the greenery.
Froths on the greenery.
That's cool.
So many plants. So many green walls. So many like plants in bars and in shops. And apparently, there was this architect or a city designer who went through 30 years ago and said, well, all these plants are going to, flourish at this time and they're going to be companions and whatever. And boom, just planted all these trees and like so many of the streets, boom, littered with trees and garden beds and stuff. And
it's very
everyone's
cool.
on their balconies, got plants.
Yeah.
So, yep, that was it.
What a trip.
Buenos Aires was the last one. We flew home and we just... I know I had a list of like 10 things that I had to do and I went and got them all done, son. I came home just fucking pumped.
Yeah.
Ready. I was ready to go back to work, tick off all these boxes, man. And I had my list and I got them done. By the 5th week, I was ready to come home. I was like, I said to you, do you want to go home? Like, how cooked are we? We want to go back to work.
I think like it was cool because like kind of got. I think that 6 weeks was good because I was looking forward to getting home, but also I was in Patagonia, so I was like, holy shit, I'm not gonna like waste this.
Double awesome feeling.
So it was a good feeling because I was like, I'm really ready to get home, but at the same time, like, okay, I've just got to be patient and enjoy this.
Yeah.
And that like big hike that last day, and then jumped on the plane and flew back up, and I remember it got delayed, so it meant I only had a couple of hours to wait before we jumped on the Santiago to Melbourne flight, which is 15 hours of. Oh wait, where was it? Argentina back to Buenos Aires.
Pretty long flight.
Buenos Aires back to Santiago. Sorry. So we had two flights, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a really special moment for me when we got home because, I wasn't living in my flat, and so I had my van. I've got a camper van here.
Yeah.
And I just dumped my bag and I went to bed outside the warehouse here in my van. You've done that.
Yeah.
How good is it? Bed on wheels.
I love it.
And I just was lying in bed and it was normal time. It was like midnight or something on Friday. And I remember just cracking up laughing.
So good.
To myself.
How good.
Like, look what you psycho did. Look, you're a psycho. You just went hard for 3 years building a business and you left it alone for 6 weeks. You went to the other side of the world, did that trip, and then home safe.
Yeah.
All those amazing experiences,
and
they're
back.
done.
Yeah.
And now here you are, safe and sound.
Ready to roll.
Nothing fell apart. And I was just laughing. I love those moments where you just... I did it the other day when I was looking at the floors and looking at the double shop I've got built, and you just feel a little crazy because you've made this thing in your head and out it comes, out it is, and you're just laughing at yourself. Because it's so special to you. No one, you're in your own dream.
Yeah.
You know? It's just, I guess we both run our own business, so
no one's ever going to appreciate all the work and all the hard stuff but then no one gets to appreciate that feeling that you get when you just burst out laughing. You're like, this is incredible.
It's joy.
It's pure joy. Yeah. It's like it kind of like we do it because we want to do it, and it's nice to have those feelings every couple of months or every. It
was a
win,
now and again. Dude. It was a win. And
it's the simplest way to put it. It was just a win.
Oh, it was a big win, dude. Yeah, and it fueled the travel bug.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to come back for 2 or 3 months, I think.
And then big trip to Europe.
Went over again, that was sick. Met my friends from the Gong, my friends from back home, and we jumped in a wagon, 4 of us, and just blitzed around the UK and just kept popping into amazing little towns in Britain, ducking our heads under the entrances to pubs because they were so low, and went to some amazing cities, went to so much amazing places. Went to Scotland to this loch, and the wilderness there, the countryside was so beautiful. And Ireland, man, I would go back there. That's another place that I would go. That's for sure. I'd go back to Ireland. We didn't go to Dublin, but it was nearby Dublin.
Yeah.
And friendliest people, lush countryside, beautiful countryside, and Guinness. It's the best drink, man. It's not. You don't drink Guinness here. It's no point. It doesn't taste good.
But there it's different.
It's all I drank.
Yeah.
Just love the Guinness.
Good.
Drank too much of it at the wedding. No problem though. It was good.
That's
it was
it.
good as fuck. And met up with a couple of the crew we met over in South America. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool to just be like, yeah, this is just like how we left off, you know. Tom and Mika in England, in Bristol, met up with them. And then
you saw Sasha.
Dude, that was sick.
I love that man.
I was so glad that he was there because he wasn't going to be. I was like, Switzerland. I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. When I'm there, I'll go to Switzerland. And he was there, and so he jumped in the car, and I, being the only one with the license, had to do all the driving, which was fine, but it was all on the right-hand side of the road.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Dangerous for the first 2 hours, but fun.
Yeah. Yeah, once you figure it out, you're right.
Yeah, have you done it?
Yeah, Hawaii.
In Hawaii, yeah.
Yeah, that was going through the streets. Like, highways are fine. But going through the street and like
stopping and turning.
one lanes. Yeah, I was just like, KP, you're gonna have to like just make sure I know I'm going on the right one. Because you just start like when you get to that autonomous level of driving, you start like, okay, back to normal. Oh wait, shit.
Oh dude, they were just like screaming in German. What? Oh fuck, I'm on the left hand side. But dude, Switzerland.
Yeah.
I just recommend that big time. For anyone travelling, for yourself, you get over to Europe. It's just the most amazing nature. It's so clean, man.
Yeah.
With all of the countryside, all lush green fields, cute cabins with Swiss flags and baskets of flowers on the balcony. And then you've just got mountains that are so clean, like the rock faces of all the mountains and stuff you're driving past.
Yeah.
So clean because it's you're basically in the Swiss Alps all the time.
Amazing,
sort of thing, man.
It's pretty cool.
And then got this. That was cool, really cool hanging out with Sasha. He wanted me to go to Bali last month and hang out with him. I just didn't have time or money. But pretty sick making friends on one side of the world and then going and seeing them again over there.
That's pretty cool. I'm hanging out to catch up with all those guys next time I go away.
Yeah.
We need to get them all to come here.
Yeah.
It's
hard for him because Switzerland's not in the EU. He was like, when I come to Bali, man, I'm going to come to Australia too. But yeah, no, they can't get their visa. It's not so easy or something.
Yeah.
They're not in the EU.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
That was good. It was awesome.
That's it. And now we're back in business.
Back in business. I've got another trip next year, but
yeah, where are you going?
Well, went to Finland last trip in Europe. Went to Finland, rekindled some friendships there. It was awesome.
We talked about that on what, number 3? We talked about your first.
Yeah.
Podcast number 3.
Yeah. And just my friend Marty, he's doing so well. When I was there, half a decade ago or whatever, he was studying so hard, working so hard to get his job. Now he works for the government. He's actually got a really good job. He's basically making decisions for what's getting taught in the schools.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
He was doing geography and whatever else, psychology and stuff. He's got himself a good job. Owns a nice house, got 2 kids, 2 young boys, saw them. So really happy for him. He's getting married in June.
Awesome.
So I figured, why not? Let's work hard until then.
Good.
Go over there, pay some friends another visit, and then see what other kind of major trek I could do. Because you could go from Finland's up in the top northeast. You could go across to St. Petersburg, take the Trans-Siberian Rail all the way through.
That could be pretty
Mongolia.
cool.
Listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History with Wrath of the Khans. You heard that?
No, I haven't listened. I've listened to bits of it. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I dove into that towards the end of the South America trip.
Mongolia.
Yeah.
I suppose when I end up on the other side, I might pop into Japan and come home. But
nice.
Big trip. I mean, that's my philosophy. You go that far, spend as much time as possible.
Make the most of it.
But I've got to prep for that for sure.
If anyone needs a nudge to travel, I hope they've got it.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's just perspective change, man. Like, it's so different, and like we are so insulated here, like especially Peninsula, but just in Australia. Yeah,
man. There was times when I was in Europe, and I was like some of the cities, some of the places I was at. I was like, what are we even doing back there? These guys have more substance, so to speak.
A lot more history. We've only been here for a couple hundred years.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
We're going to shat on all the history that was here. So
yeah. Well, we've got good nature and we've got good weather, so embrace that, enjoy that. But going away, it's just, for me, it was like it's easy. Like just get on the plane, go over there, experience it, and come back.
A little bit of planning, and then
on
your bike.
Yeah. So
yeah, that'll be sick. That'll be a cool trip.
Maybe if it happens.
I'll head back to my Oko in Japan for 2 weeks in Jan.
Cool.
Spend a couple of days in Tokyo either side.
Nice.
But apart from that, I don't know. I think maybe end of next year.
You got all your goals lined up. I saw your big vision board.
Yeah, got a few things I want to tick off. There's a little bit of ambiguity there, so I want to make that a little bit more nailed down what I actually want. But I think like KP and I will probably look to move to Mornington sometime next year or two. Mm-hmm. Maybe tick that box and then go on a big holiday with her.
Cool.
Take her out of school for a bit.
Yeah.
Bloody teachers and their 2-week holidays at a time. She needs to run a business. We can just go away for 2 months at a time together. That's it.
You're lucky.
There's definitely perks to it, and that's one of the freedom.
You gotta work hard to set it up, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I'm here, things run a bit faster, so that's better for wages and running the place.
When you got a good team though, it makes such a difference.
I'll set it up. They'll all be keen as mustard to see the boss go on again, I reckon. But
word on the street is they get a little more done without you.
No, that's incorrect.
Yeah, sick.
So business is pumping. Got to take these little trips to get.
It just puts a fire in your belly, right?
Yeah, it does. It was an awesome trip, man. Awesome couple of trips this year. Awesome year. I'm just ticking over 4 years now. 29th of November.
Yeah,
my birthday and Voyager's 4th. So it's pretty much finished. It's been a long haul.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
We're at the point where now it's like, okay, now the real work starts.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, I've trained my team, got me equipment, I've got all the space, plenty of time for expansion. You know, like next door, it's studio space. Wait till we're so busy we needed a couple more machines and all our studio space has to move somewhere else. So. Or like, maybe, well, hopefully not. I love this joint, so hopefully I don't have to move. But I just feel like I can slow down a bit, and organically the whole business it'll keep me up to speed. But I feel so stoked, man. I've achieved amazing things. I'm proud of myself, and this year doing those couple of trips, I just felt like an absolute champion.
As you should.
A lot of good self-esteem come out of this year.
Good.
You know? And learned a lot. Just like where I'm at.
Good.
Stoked.
Mate, love your work. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, dude. Good chat.
Yeah, fucking ace chat.
Yeah, boy.